welcome back to episode 4 of the Opinions, Facts, and Stats podcast. We are so happy to have you guys all checking in on our episode 4. I am Tyler, your host, with my buddy Garrett. Garrett, how you doing today, man?
What's going on? I'm doing great. I've been getting a lot of video advice from my father, and he told me that I sit with the camera too high and the mic in front of my face, so now everyone can see my 4-foot neck and my shoulders.
Exactly.
I think we're good.
Last week you looked a little hunched down, so I think
it's because I like to show the people the investments. I've made a lot of investments in all of my stuff, and I want people to see it.
And one thing I want to throw out there, guys, I'm not sure you've noticed, but it's far away. But this time, I actually have Fenway Park up in the background over there next to my Disney ears over here.
Yeah, so we get a lot of
now.
At the end of every episode, we ask for comments, questions, and concerns. Not one person has asked us a question, but y'all seem concerned with what's going on with the camera, what's going on in the backgrounds. So, we asked for it. We asked for it,
and we're delivering now, and that's what we do here on this podcast.
Matters,
so let's get this started. All right.
Well, real quick. I just want to announce one thing. I apologize. Last week we talked about this week was going to be the start of our weekly episodic things. Not going to go too much into my personal life, but I am switching jobs. I'm actually going to a new company. So that comes with a promotion and a pay raise and everything like that. So also my fiance just got promoted as well. So we have a lot going on in the household. It will be coming this week. The week that going into it, so when you watch this episode a couple days from now, there was just a lot going on and shuffling and uprooting our life and changing our stuff and just great things going on. So I mean, I know everyone's waiting and no one could sleep because they were waiting for the episode, and I apologize. And it is coming in due time.
Yep, and it's the same here. Like I said, like Garrett said, we're working on it. We're really trying to get these things rolling. Things take time. We have a lot of, obviously, Garrett said, a lot of personal things going on in our life, and we're trying to get things rolling. Exactly.
Give me a second. Can I breathe?
Yeah, exactly, guys. You gotta ease it back a little bit, but we're getting there. We're moving along. We're gonna get this thing up and going, and hope you guys can join in on those little mini series episodes also. And the last thing I want to say before we start, also, do not forget to subscribe. We are always looking for more subscribers, hitting that like button. All right. And please, guys, don't forget to comment down below. Okay. We want to answer your questions. I know we're a newer podcast, so, we're not huge or anything, but please do not be afraid to ask questions. We definitely want your input on our episodes and what you guys have to say. So when this episode goes up this weekend, please don't forget to comment down below. All right. So one of the biggest things that we can start discussing, Garrett, is I think the NBA trade deadline, right? Because let's just say, in all my years of watching sports, researching sports, whatever you want to call it, this has been one of the most hectic, insane trade deadlines that I've witnessed in a long time.
You usually see a lot of trades happen at the trade deadline, but not like anything that are making giant splashes.
No, not at all. And
there was a couple huge splashes in this deadline, a couple huge ones.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest ones, and I think Garrett can attest to this one, is Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Durant gets traded from Brooklyn to the Phoenix Suns, right?
Yes.
Now everyone's sitting here going, why Phoenix? Like, what does Phoenix have? What are they able to give up to get Kevin Durant? And also, why would Brooklyn even want to give up Kevin Durant? Well, that's twofold here. All right. They traded Kyrie Irving to Dallas, and, good for Dallas. We'll see how him and Luka work together.
By the way, I just want to say, if you checked the last podcast, somebody called it.
I did. I said that Dallas was the team that there was a sneaky team. So I don't know. I mean, I just kind of looked at that and said, Dallas needed another star. Luka was playing way too much by himself. He needed another star next to him. And again, we could sit here all day and get into the Kyrie Irving off the court stuff, personal stuff, whatever you want to call it. Yes, Kyrie Irving's a very, how do I say this, interesting person. Okay.
That's a good word.
He
That's
has
a good word.
yeah, right. He has his own views, that's all him. But on the court, you can't deny what he brings, right? He is one
He's
of
got
the most
the
players.
I've still to this day, I think there's probably like two other people that I've seen with handles even close to him. Like just the way he can just dribble the ball and move around the court and not even I mean, shooting, he's a phenomenal shooter too, but just the way that he can dribble and just I've never seen anything like before in my life. You see like again, top three dribblers of all time. You just even when he was on the Celtics, he's just like, he changes the game and it's hard to play him because if you play too tight, he's gonna break your feet, break your ankles. If you play too loose, he's gonna shoot in your face. He's again very, 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 very skilled point guard. Has off the court, he does his thing, and he's got to say things, and he stands by it, and he does what he does. But on the court, there's undenying that he is a top point guard in this league.
Oh yeah. Well, let me ask you this then. He is going to Dallas.
Yep.
That is Luka's team, right?
Yes.
I know Kyrie Irving's going there. It's Kyrie Irving, big media guy, but that is Luka Doncic's team, right?
Yes.
And we both know Luka and Kyrie are very ball dominant players. So in your opinion, how is that going to work? Like Luka's been out the first two games Kyrie has played. Luka's been hurt. But when he comes back, Luka sits here and says, "Oh, it's going to be great." Kyrie says we're going to work together. But how do you think they're going to be able to incorporate each other together? In your opinion,
I think they'll be okay. I truly think they're going to be good. Like maybe off the court, Kyrie shows some displeasure or anything like that. But one thing about Kyrie, I mean, maybe you see a little bit of it, but I don't really see like him like complaining on the court. You don't see him, flailing his arms like I was open, nothing. I mean, he does say some stuff off the court, but I mean, I think they're going to be fine. Luka he's always been a ball first guy and get the ball, but that's because he's got no one else on his team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not sharing it with the superstar. So that Luka, we got to see how Luka's going to do. I mean, he had some people on his team his first 2 years, but nothing crazy. So, but I mean, Kyrie's played with LeBron. He's played with Kevin Durant. He's played with all these ball hawking, basketball players, and it worked. It worked. I think they'll mesh well. Again, maybe not off the court, but I think on the court, I think Kyrie respects Luka, and I think Luka's going to respect Kyrie. Two different games. Kyrie's got the speed and the shooting, and Luka just like Luka. I mean, come on,
he's very finesse. Like
it's like Larry Bird type plays he does, man.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking. He really is a lot like him. And
you see him, and I'm telling you, dude, you watch highlights of him, and it's like he's in slow motion, and you're like, how can they not stop him? And then he just does a fadeaway from 60 feet back, and literally, it's like you can't do anything.
It doesn't even seem like he's running. It doesn't even seem like he's running. He literally, his movements are so precise how he does things. He'll do like one step to the right and one step to the left, and the defense is over here when he's over there. It's like, but he's not even moving that fast. But yet somehow he finds a way to get open.
It's so funny. It's honestly so funny because it's just like we're watching like Larry 2.0, man. We're watching Larry. Maybe Larry was passed more, but I also think that Larry also had, a couple more pieces on his team, when you have Danny Ainge and, you got a couple other pieces that you can pass to. I think that also helps you a lot. I mean, Luka right now, I'm not discrediting anybody else on the Dallas Mavericks, but Luka
his second player is Christian Wood. His second best
like far
above was Christian Wood. And nothing against Christian Wood, but he's not a top 10, 15, even top 20 player. He's a good player.
You're literally, taking a top point guard and Luka's kind of been playing point guard lately because of, nobody else, but you have a point guard and a shooting guard. I mean, I would love to see them get somebody else on that team too, maybe one bigger guy or something like that, that could play a little bit better down low. But I mean, I think that takes the Mavericks from a good team to a playoff contention, gonna battle it out at the end team.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern with this team now is their defense because Luka was never known for defense. Kyrie Irving really, I mean, he can. Let me say this: if Kyrie Irving decides to play defense, he can play defense.
Yeah,
but he's always been focused on scoring. Let me go score. Let me go score. Let me do this. So defensively, I am worried about Dallas's defense just because Luka and Kyrie aren't the top tier defensive players in the league.
You know, we talk about this all the time, and I've said it multiple times where I think that the NFL, I absolutely think, is a defense wins championships league. That's always been I will always stand by that. That is always my thought. Obviously, there's times where, you know, higher power offense is going to win the game, but I also think that you need a defense that can help. I think in the NBA, it's a little bit differently. Because I think that, you know, you can play great defense, but man, you can't stop a hot streak in the NBA, man. Like there's sometimes where people go off like, dude, you can have the best, you know, best NBA defense in the league, but if Klay Thompson scores 37 points in a quarter, there's nothing you can do. Like there's nothing you can do.
And
I think no, I absolutely think you're correct. Like I think they are going to be lacking on defense, but I do think in the NBA, an offensive power team can win.
Oh, they can, because I mean now you have Kyrie and Luka together now, two of the best scorers in the league. Like 100%. Like they could score 130 points and give up, but give up 115, but they still win because they outscore the opponents. So I understand what you're saying there, and I totally agree with that.
That's why I'm just saying that, like in the NBA, like the NFL, I think, you know, I think defense wins champions, but in the NBA, it's a cool dynamic because, you know, you could have like a great defensive team, but I mean, there's just offenses that are overpowering the defenses. And yeah, you're right. Like the Mavericks can give up 110 points a game. If they're scoring 120, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Well, let me ask you this question then, you know, because it is kind of a residual effect with Brooklyn now. You know, we'll get to the Kevin Durant thing in a second, but you know, they traded like Spencer Dinwiddie back to Brooklyn from Dallas and a few other pieces. Now, Spencer Dinwiddie has played on Brooklyn before. He did well in Brooklyn. Like he averaged like 20 plus points and like, you know, 6-7 assists. Do you think that for Brooklyn, this was the best option for them? Like, I know everyone was like, oh, this high-powered team, they got these stars because they had James Harden, Durant, and Irving. They traded Harden. They traded Irving, and they traded Durant. Do you think for them as a team and as just a culture, they had to do this? And again, I know Kyrie asked for a trade, and I'm sure KD asked for a trade, you know, behind the scenes. But do you think Brooklyn needed to do this to really kind of reset their franchise?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. I think it was going to come. Even, I mean, let's say they keep Kyrie, but I did hear a report that Kevin Durant did privately ask for a trade, and apparently he privately asked specifically for the Suns.
Oh, okay.
Is what I heard. I, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I have no connections, but let's say Kyrie does stay and Kevin Durant goes for the trade anyway, and then you just have Kyrie there. I mean, I think that Kyrie would have been mad. You know, I think the only reason why Kyrie would stay is if Kevin Durant was in it, you know, 100%. He was like, I'm going to stay and we should work together and blah, blah, blah. But I think it's the best thing, you know, start from scratch. You know, they finally have picks now from that amazing trade that they gave the Boston Celtics for a 52-year-old Kevin Garnett and a 46-year-old Paul Pierce.
And like so they finally 50-year-old Jason, you know, Jason Terry and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Jason Terry, you know. So they finally have picks. They finally can make some moves. You know, they get some, you know, Dinwiddie and a couple other people where they're like, you know, they're younger side and
like I said, I'll get into that about what they got. Yeah, and I'll get into that about Kevin Durant, what they got for Kevin Durant.
What was the Kyrie? Do you have the Kyrie trade details up?
Yeah, 1 second. So
I know it was a couple of players. I thought it was a couple of players, and I mean, I could be wrong. I could be thinking of another trade.
No, so Kyrie. So with the Mavs trade, they traded Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris.
Okay.
So they got those two. Mavericks did, but they traded next. The Nets got back Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, 2029 first-round pick, and 2 future second-round picks. So not huge.
No,
but he was going to be a free agent next year, so they're looking at it going, you know, Dallas wasn't sure, and like
compensation is anything, dude. You know, it's good. It's good. You know, you get 2 younger players. You get a pick in the future.
Yeah,
you know,
and
it's not bad.
And I think for them, like I said, Dinwiddie knows how to play in Brooklyn. He played here for 3 years, so he knows the Brooklyn kind of franchise in the city. Dorian Finney-Smith is an underrated player. You know, Dallas is going to miss it because he's a really good two-way player. Really good defensively. So I think Brooklyn, you know, defensively, but it makes me laugh now because all the players they got, they have no big men. They have like 15 wings. Yeah. So their team is going to be like all 6'7" guys but long. So that could work. I mean, look at the Celtics. They're not a huge team.
No.
I mean, I know you have Rob Williams, who's a freak, like 6'9", and Horford, but they're not this ginormous team who is going to impose their will. They just have amazing, skilled wing players and point guards. And I think that's what Brooklyn is getting back, even just through the Irving trade. Like, Dinwiddie isn't a superstar. You know, he was an all-star, but he's a good core player for them. I think Brooklyn just need to get better culture, guys. And again, we can get into the Irving thing, Durant, and how just you knew, just looking on the outside, and again, I have no sources here, but Kyrie and Katie didn't want to be here anymore. They hated it here. No. Irving even said it in his first press conference in Dallas that he literally said that Brooklyn was, they didn't even respect him. They were so disrespectful to Irving. And again, that's his own opinion. We don't know exactly what went on behind the scenes, but you could tell that Irving hated it there. He was done there. And KD, you know, he wants to win. And, you know, the one thing I want to say about this Kevin Durant trade, before we even get into the details, he should have never left Golden State. He should have never left Golden State.
Nope. You had the golden ticket, pun intended.
Literally,
every year going back to the it's like what else did you want? I don't know where
he wanted Irving. He wanted to be with Irving.
Yeah, but like I just don't understand it. There's a complete difference between being on a team with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green than being on a team with James Harden and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
those are two different dynamics. Two different dynamics. Sure, the Kyrie, the James Harden, and the Kevin Durant sounds amazing on paper, but the Golden State Warriors were amazing in real life. Like they were amazing.
The was a mess. They were a mess together because they were all me.
No, I'm saying like if you put that on a marquee, like, oh yeah, that sounds like an amazing team.
Well, yeah,
that sounds like an amazing team.
Big three. There you go. That's what everyone wants.
That sounds amazing. But like the Warriors were amazing.
They were.
The Warriors were. You couldn't. They had it in every single position. They were like they had some person that was better than you, like some person that was. It made no sense.
The only position where I would say the only position where I say they weren't elite, maybe center. That's
but like even when Draymond would play center, it was a mismatch because he's a 6'8" center that can run up and down the court every single time. And who are we putting over there? Who's the Celtics going to have? Like Robert Williams? Sure, in the beginning, I think Robert Williams is going to compete with him. But Draymond Green's stamina at his size, and he's got like the Charles Barkley thing going on, where he's undersized, he just plays bigger.
He's literally the Marcus Smart of forwards or centers.
Forwards. Yeah,
come at me. I'm gonna push you around no matter what.
Exactly.
And that's what
he's like Charles Barkley.
Yeah, no,
undersized, but like he had no problem taking on the big guys. And the one thing that Charles Barkley, he just kept going. He just kept going. He had such a high motor, and it did not matter at all. And again, didn't matter your size, 7 foot. You know, even people that were 6'9" and 6'10" were getting gassed out before Barkley. And Draymond Green's the same thing. And he can play. He can shoot. Like he's not the
great shooter. He's really not a great shooter.
But you still don't want to leave him wide open. You still have to respect him when he gets the ball.
Yeah,
you still have to respect him.
That's what I mean. And when you had Kevin Durant, you had Curry, if not the best shooter in NBA history, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, who's right up there.
It's hard to deny Steph Curry.
It really is. I'm sorry. I know you have your own opinions of who you think, but Steph Curry.
I think like obviously if I'm taking Larry Bird or Steph Curry to be on my team, I'm going to take Larry Bird. But yeah, I mean, for a shootout, I think Curry's.
Steph Curry. But like I said, Kevin Durant should have never left. But we don't have to get into a whole discussion about why he left Golden State. We know why he left Golden State. He wanted to be with his buddy in Brooklyn, and he got it. He went to Brooklyn, and everyone was like, "Oh, this big three: Harden, like you said, Irving, Durant. Oh my God! On paper, you look at that board over the stadium. Oh, look at those big three. It's everything. It's a seller. But they weren't a good cohesion of a team together. Those three, they weren't. And again, we can sit there and say, "Oh, but they're all all stars who want to win, so they'll make it work." No, they're all ball dominant, and again. And Harden has changed a little bit where he's more of a passer now, especially with Philly. But Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. I don't care if Irving's there, if Harden's there. Kevin Durant is better than both of them. I don't care what anyone says. But him getting traded to Phoenix, I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked. I mean, I was beyond shocked that he even got traded. But he asked for the trade. Like you said, the rumor that you heard is that he wanted to go to Phoenix, and he got it. And we can get into this in a second because I'm going to talk about what Brooklyn got, and you're going to have a lot of opinions on this. So the Phoenix got Kevin Durant, T.J. Warren. T.J. Warren is a very underrated guy. Always hurt. He's always hurt, but he can score. He's a scorer.
Same thing we're talking about with Dinwiddie. They're like, great role players. Great role players.
And that's what I think Brooklyn needed. And I think for the Suns, they knew they were getting KD, but KD's hurt right now, and they needed somebody else in that. But then they got TJ Warren, so that's good for Phoenix. But the Nets received Mikal Bridges, and Mikal Bridges to me is one of the best two-way players in the league. He reminds me a lot of Jimmy Butler in his prime and Butler's prime because they're both dogs. Like they go out there, they play defense. Like they are dogs. But Mikal can shoot. He's a scorer too. Like this is one of his every year he's coming to the NBA, he's gotten better and better every year, which is astounding to me. Then they got Cam Johnson. He is a good two-way wing. He can score defensively, but this is where the bread and butter is for Brooklyn right here. They got not one, not two, not even three, but they got 5 first-round picks. 5. Okay. They got this year, 2023, a 2025, a 2027, a 28, and a 29. So literally the next 4 or 5 years, Phoenix first-round picks. And they got a couple second-round picks in there too, but second-round picks they're not bad, but the second-round picks, they're nothing crazy.
All right, I'm gonna make a pick right now. The Nets in 2030 are going to be in the NBA Finals because
you all heard that, right?
Hold me to it because they're going to have 3 2029 picks.
Yeah.
First round picks.
Yeah.
They're going to have 3.
Yeah.
They're going to have 2 this year. They're going to have 2 this year. They're going to have 2 in 2025.
Yep.
They're going to have 2 in 2020. They're going to have 2 unless they make a trade, and again, unless they start.
And they'll probably make a trade here and there just because they have so many first-round picks. They're not going to draft every first-round player. They're going to make trades. Like the next superstar comes out for a trade, I'm sure they'll be in the running again, depending who it is. But I think
the Suns are pulling in LA Rams. Where they're like, you know what? Just give them everything we've got for the future. Who cares? We want to win now. Yeah. Which I don't get the aspect. And again, I get it. I'm a Patriots fan. So like I'm used to like the dynasty and everything being spread out. I don't get the win now mentality. I want to win forever.
Yeah.
That's not a mentality anymore, I think. I think everyone wants to win now and we don't care about tomorrow. Today is today. I just want to win for the rest of my life. I want to have a team that we're gonna have for the next 3 years. Like, what's the point of having I don't know. What's the point of having a really good team this year? When like a lot of the people are like rentals, or you don't know where they're going to be in the next couple of years. I mean, Chris Paul is getting up there in age. He's already there in age. Kevin Durant hasn't finished a season, hasn't played more than 60 games since like 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
I mean, Devin Booker I'm not even going to say anything bad about that guy. He's a stud, but
my question is though, is that DeAndre Ayton, he asked for a trade in the offseason. Like he wants to get paid. And he's a free agent after this year. And
rental.
Now with Kevin Durant, but I don't even know if they could afford all of them.
No. Not after this year.
Durant's owed so much. So
do you think that Kevin Durant say they win this year, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Kevin Durant takes a pay cut? Because I don't.
No.
I don't. No. I think he's always been about the money.
He is, and he's 35 years old. He's like, I've won championships. I don't need to give up my money. I mean, again, I know he wants to win, but they already signed Booker long term. Booker's here long term. Paul, well, he like I say, he's up there in age, so they're probably gonna look for another point guard here and there. But Booker can play point guard here and there also. So I think they're going to ride out with Chris Paul until he's done.
Yeah.
To
So
be honest with you,
you got Chris Paul on the brink of retirement. You got DeAndre Ayton, who you might not be able to afford.
yeah,
You've got no draft picks. You've got no draft picks. None this year. Who knows? They might have a 2024.
Yeah,
I guess you have something to look for because they didn't trade that one.
Yeah,
they traded 3, 5, 6, 7. I don't know, going down the line, but
and 8 and 9. Yeah,
8, 9. Yeah, so they do. So they might have a 2024.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, hey, if we get Chris Paul for 2 more years for this year and next year, we can make a move in the draft. Get a point guard from there. And I mean, you still gotta think about the center position because Ayton wants to get paid. He wants to get out, and there's a high market out there for him.
Yeah,
someone's gonna pay him.
Well, because he's a good center, and again, I know everyone talks about the center role kind of moving away because he's not a shooter. He's more of the big man in the post, like a Rob Williams. Mm-hmm. So everyone's like, oh, but he's not. He doesn't stretch the floor, and that's what everybody wants nowadays. And they're big men like an Al Horford, those kind of guys. But he's still valuable. I mean, he averages 20 and like 10. I mean, you need those defensive anchors, those guys who can bang down the post too. So he'll definitely get paid. We'll be here in Phoenix. I don't know yet, and we're going to wait and see on that one. That's going to be interesting to me. 2 other trades that I want to quickly get into before we move on to the NFL. Just a quick Mike Muscala trade for the Celtics because we are Celtics fans, and I kind of want to just get into that super quick. Like I said, it wasn't a big trade. It wasn't anything that they didn't give. They didn't give up much. Just a second round pick and a player that didn't even play. Yep. But Mike Muscala is kind of your kind of player. Personally, he is a big white boy who can shoot. He is. He can stretch the floor. Like last night, I watched the game last night.
He's
first game he played. 14
he's an
points.
He's an Aaron Baines. He's a Kelly Olynyk. He's
Kelly Olynyk right there.
Yeah. He is. We usually always have someone like that on the team. I mean, his skin color doesn't really have to do with anything, but he's a big dude that can shoot. You know what I mean? He can rebound and he can shoot. He can go to the wing and open up the middle for Brown and Tatum and he can get outside, or if he needs to come inside, he can fight for rebounds and stuff like that. He's a big guy and I like it. He came in and he shot 4 threes. Yeah, first game he came in and shot 4 3-pointers.
4 for 7. I mean, that's what he does. And again, the Celtics did try and get Jakob Poeltl. They did. They offered Pritchard, Gallinari, and 2 second-round picks. They offered them up to San Antonio, but San Antonio went with Toronto and the better first-round pick. Toronto gave him a first-round pick, which I don't understand. The Toronto, they're in limbo. They're under 500. They gave up a first-round pick for a guy who might not even be here next year. But that's I don't know what Toronto's doing there. But again, it shows you that the Celtics are in win now. They want to win. They do. And I'm not saying that Mike Muscala is not a good pickup for them. He is. He's going to help because again, Rob Williams and Horford unfortunately have been injured a lot this year, and we know about Rob Williams, great player, but he's so injury prone. He is, and I hate saying it because when he's healthy, he is a X factor on this team. And then you got Horford, who's 37 years old. He's old. He's an older guy, and you need him for the playoffs. So getting Mike Muscala, who can kind of do what Horford does, really will help this team because Horford won't need to play 30 minutes a game. Exactly. He doesn't need to. And you got Cornette to kind of play the Rob Williams role, bigger guy who bangs in the post. Not a great rebounder, but like I said, we have enough talent on this team. So I think that they're definitely a team to watch out for the Celtics. Like I said, it was a very small, low-key, pickup for them, but
I like our odds. I like our odds. I like our team. I like our odds. I like our team. I think Tatum and Brown have been playing really well and really complimentary. Mm-hmm. I especially with the NFL season still going on, I'm like, what did fading out and the Patriots done? This is when I start to fade back into the Celtics. I'm not a bandwagoner, okay? I'm just an NFL fan more than I'm an NBA fan. I've always been an NFL fan more than an NBA fan. But
you're not a bandwagoner, Garrett? Oh man, okay.
No. Again, what's funny was last year before we made all those splashes in the trade deadline when we made all those moves. I watched in the beginning and then I was like, you know what, this team's going nowhere, and I stopped watching. not that I stopped watching, but the NFL was on, so I was watching more of the NFL and stuff like that. And then we started playing good. And I'm such not a bandwagoner that I didn't even celebrate when they were winning because I was like, you know what? I bailed on them. They deserve to win without me. That's how bandwagon I am. If I jump ship in the beginning, I'm not hopping back on that ship. You know, they can win without me. If there was a parade in Boston with the duck boats, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go out of respect because I denied them. But they made those moves. They made some splashes, dude. And
Derek
White was a great pickup. I mean, he's still playing great. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon, you know, we've got some great pieces this year. Last year, the biggest struggle was off the bench.
Yeah,
we had nothing. And it is the coolest thing in the world. Even before the season started, when Malcolm Brogdon was like, dude, I'll play off the bench. I don't care. I just want to win. And he coming off the bench, he has to be in the running for 6th man of the year.
Oh, he is 100% easily.
Yeah, like he has to be. He has to be. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. He should absolutely be. And one of my biggest things I've seen it with the Celtics for like the last, oh my God, 4 years, probably 5 years since even when Stevens was our coach. I hate when we just take a three and then everyone runs to the other side and we never get rebounds. That is the most infuriating thing in the world. And that's what we were doing last year in the beginning. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching, because you would just watch him, you know, you would walk up, take a shot and take a three. Who was the, oh my God, who was the power forward that we had last year? You and I talk about him all the time. I didn't like him. Oh my God, I can't even think of his name. Like I don't like to bring race into it, but he was a white guy.
Last year?
Yeah, we traded him.
Hold on, I'm gonna look that up right now.
Look it up. He was on the smaller side. He was like our power forward. A lot of people liked him. They're like, oh, because he was gonna be our starting power forward / center. And I kept telling everybody, you know, he has to come off the bench. You're as soon as you realize who it is, you can be like, oh yeah.
I know.
Because
I'm trying to think here.
I've been saying like he needs to come off the bench, and he was our starter, and I didn't like him, and you know I did not think he was that great, and he was one of those guys that he'd be the first one running as soon as a three would get jacked up, he'd be the first one running, and that was just
It wasn't Grant Williams, right?
No. What did I just say, bro? I just said he's a
is Enes Kanter?
Yeah, no, not Cantor. I actually liked Cantor. Cantor. I thought Cantor was coming off the bench and he was great. I think we had Cantor for rebounds.
Yeah,
we had Cantor for rebounds. Like I didn't think he was going to be a great scorer, but you know we needed help in rebounds.
Oh, Tice.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel Tice. That's the one. Oh my God!
Oh, come on! Don't slam on Tice.
I'm not slamming on him. I just didn't. He just was not a starter for me. He was not a starter for me. And then again, he was what 6'8".
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that as soon as the ball would, you know, get out of Tatum or Brown's hands, he was already on the other side.
I know.
You gotta go for those offensive rebounds. You gotta try.
Yeah.
You know, give a little shove underneath the freaking hoop. You just get it going.
Thing was though, whenever he gave a shove, he got called for a foul. He was literally
That's okay. It's okay. Send a message. Right, Come on, if Daniel Tice got fouled out of the game, you crying about it? No,
I understand what you're saying.
You need someone to bruise them, get them in their heads, be kind of aggressive.
And I think this year you're seeing a little bit more of that physicality with this team. I think when you got Brogdon is that, you know, I know he's not the big man, but he gets downhill and he's tough. Yeah. He's a strong guy. Like he's a strong guy. You got smart.
It didn't matter the size. It's just like you gotta have someone that goes in there and just gets in the defense's head, get in the other team's head. You know, just show them that like this is gonna be a physical game, man.
My only thing about the Celtics team this year is they are a prolific, amazing 3-point shooting team this year. They are. They're one of the best 3-point shooters. But they are the kind of team that scares me because they either win by the three or die by the three.
Yeah.
They don't do enough in the post. Rob Williams, I love the player, but he gives up too many shots at the rim. He looks to pass it out. I'm like, Williams, you have the size. Like it's either he doesn't have the post moves or he's afraid to. I don't know.
I mean, it could be from like past injuries, you know, it could be like he doesn't want to turn around and jump up and fall down on something. I mean, or maybe. He's got a lot of confidence. He's got a lot of confidence in Brown and Tatum and Peyton shooting the three and you know getting it to Brown. He's got great teammates around him where he doesn't feel like he has to play hero ball. That could be to me.
And I get that, but I think in the playoffs he's gonna have to
That's something that has to be. Yeah. Absolutely.
Playoff teams are gonna pin on those players, and he's gonna have to
you even see the Warriors do it. The Warriors are a great 3-point regular season team, and obviously they're great in the playoffs. But you even see them changing it up. Doing some other things, and
eventually teams
are gonna. You can't be a one-dimensional team in the playoffs. No, you can't in a 7-game stretch. You need to have some. You need to shake it up a little bit because you're absolutely right. It's the same. You see it with Tatum and Brown too. When you see like Tatum have an off game, like if Tatum's on, oh my God, I wouldn't want to play the Celtics. But if Tatum is off, like Brown has to step up, and if Brown is off,
and he can.
Oh, no, Brown does. Brown does.
Like
he's done it time. Oh my God, Brown does it. But like, if they're both off,
it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. No, I think it's better this year. I think it's better this year
because we have bench guys
exactly.
now.
Yeah. But you would see it time and time again last year where you would see Tatum, drive up the court, dribble it for 20 seconds, and then just jack up a 3, miss, and do the same thing. We're killing clock. We're jack or he'd either kill clock or he wouldn't kill enough. He would run right up, jack up a 3, with still almost 20-something seconds left on the shot clock, and just run back to the other side. So it was a weird dynamic last year, but I have very, very good hopes on the team this year, honestly, especially with with our chances in the East.
Yeah, And the last thing I'm gonna say quickly is this team very capable of winning it all. Like they are. I know you look at Phoenix now, Kevin Durant. I know Phoenix is probably going to be there. I understand that. But for the Celtics, their only issue is health right now. That's it. If they're healthy in the playoffs, they are a dangerous team.
I think we have. I think like when it comes to like obviously there's other teams with more superstars, but I think with looking at like most well-rounded team, I think the Celtics are the most well-rounded team in the NFL. Like I'm in the NFL. Oh my God, the NBA and
that tells you right there, guys, how much he loves the NFL over here because he can't even say the word.
Yeah, I know. NBA. I can't even stop talking about it. We just want to talk about the New England Celtics. You know what I mean? No, I think they're the most well-rounded team in the whole NBA. Again, I think there's obviously better stars. There's better players. There's teams with better superstars on there with more star power. Like the Mavericks have 2 really great shooters now, really great players. The Suns have 3 really good players, and Kevin Durant's a phenomenal player. There's teams out there. The Warriors. The Warriors are a very great. I think the Warriors might be a really good rounded team.
They are. Funny? They're just this year.
Yeah, exactly. It's health. It's health. It's the same thing with the Celtics. I honestly think for my money, and I know I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm saying this, but I think for the most bang for my buck, the best finals is going to be Celtics versus Warriors.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best one to watch. That's going to be the best one to watch.
I just have a hard time with the Warriors this year because they're so injured. Steph Curry.
Yeah, no. Okay. Health, obviously. Fully healthy, the best bang for your buck is going to be the Celtics versus the Warriors. Even when we were watching the game, 2 weeks ago, something like that, 3 weeks ago, that game was it went down to literally the last second.
Overtime.
It was a great watch. Great watch. So it was a great game. I think most bang for your buck there, obviously health-wise. If you're going into it with no Steph Curry and let's say Klay Thompson takes a couple of weeks off or something like that happens and the injury bug, it doesn't stop for anybody. It happens. So if both teams are healthy, my bang for my buck is going to be Celtics versus Warriors. I think it's both the best rounded teams. The best rounded teams, the coming off the bench, they have great teams coming off great players coming off the bench. I think that's where my money's at. So that was.
And I completely understand that, and I think that we're gonna have to wait and see on that because, like I said, Celtics are really injured right now too.
Didn't the Mavericks just break the record with Kyrie for the most points scored in the first 2 quarters?
Yeah,
was that in Mavericks history or the NBA?
I think it was Mavericks history. I think
it might have been NBA.
Yeah, it might have been
NBA. It was 74 points.
Yeah, no. Then it probably was the NBA because but that right there shows you.
So I'm saying when you have an offense, when you have a high-powered offense, you can win. It doesn't matter about the defense. They scored 74 points and the other team had 40. Like it's not like they're not scoring. It's not like the Mavericks just shutting them down. When you just have an onslaught of scoring ability like that where you can't stop them. Doesn't matter how good your defense is. When you have like offensive powers like that, again, we'll see how it plays out when Luka's playing. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Like
so, but I think so. Like I said, it is a wait and see approach. We'll have to wait and see kind of how things shake up in the NBA because right now, like I said, the Celtics are the top team right now. The Bucks, the Suns. We'll see when Kevin Durant gets back how the Suns incorporate everybody. But it's going to be an interesting end of the regular season to see kind of where it takes the NBA franchises right now. So quickly, I wanted to discuss a quick little thing about Derek Carr and Cliff Kingsbury. I know Derek Carr, we don't have to spend too much time on this. It's just very quick things, but I want to just talk about how Derek Carr interviewed with the Saints twice. I know, like you said earlier, you're a big NFL guy, so I'm sure you got an opinion on this. Derek Carr to the Saints. What do you think about that? What's your opinion on great fit? Great fit.
Absolutely great fit. I mean, you have Chris Olave, you've got Michael Thomas coming back, and hopefully he's healthy. You've got oh my God, the tight end, the quarterback turned tight end. I can't even think of his name right
Taysom
now. Taysom Hill. You've got the versatility there. You still have Kamara. I mean, we don't know what his suspension is going to be this year if he does get suspended. So we don't know that, but you get Alvin Kamara. They also have don't they have Eno Benjamin?
They do.
They do. So you have some running back there. So I mean, you got some stuff there, but like that's a great fit. I think that's a great fit. I mean, you don't know where else he's gonna go. Where else is he gonna go? And they don't really have too many people on roster too. So like they can pay him, they can afford him. You'll have your backup as Jameis Winston, so you have a decent backup.
Right there though. What's your opinion on that though, Winston? I know do you think he's gonna be able to? I know he got benched for Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
But do you think he's going to want to be out of the Saints, like leave the Saints or get released if Derek Carr did come there? Again, we don't know if he's going to. Yeah. But they are the team that's talking to him the most. Yeah. So
he absolutely could. I mean, Winston could say he wants out and he wants to move on, but I just don't know where you go. You struggled with the Saints. You threw 5,000 yards. 32 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in your last full year starting in the NFL.
Yeah.
You're not having, it's not like you're having a great resume and, it's just like, oh, I just got hurt. You can say you can't lose the job to injury. And I completely agree with that. But like, it didn't seem like you had the job to begin with. It didn't seem like you were the starter there. I mean, I'm pretty sure his first 3 games with the Saints, he had like 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions or something like that. Like he was, his touchdown interception ratio was not good at all. So I think he could absolutely say, I don't want to play here anymore. I want to go to a team and I actually wanted to, compete for a job. But where is that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the only team that I could see maybe, and again, I have no sources here. This is just totally me just throwing guesses out there. I guess a team that like is drafting a young guy that you want a veteran to be in front of, like, the Texans. Again, I'm not saying Houston's going to take him, but the Texans maybe because they know that maybe if they took Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, whoever they take, they want to ease them into it. So you get Winston in there. Maybe, you look at maybe the, those kind of teams that are drafting a young rookie quarterback who need a veteran. I guess you can look at him, but I don't know.
How about let me shake something up real quick, and this is going to be like, woo, but that's who I am. I make headlines. What if Robert Saleh was correct, and he is going to stick with Zach Wilson? Do you think that bringing in something like Jameis Winston in there, and I mean, I know he's not the best, parental figure and the best quarterback to be there, but I think that he's I think he's better than Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Mike White.
The thing is, though, I see where you're coming from with that, but my opinion on that situation there is I think you have to almost know for sure that Winston is going to be all in because he is kind of a little head case at times, like Wilson is. And I think do you really want that in your locker room? If I was the Jets, let's say if they don't go for Derek Carr or they don't go for Rodgers or whatever, I think they should just or Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't get those guys. I would just bring Mike White back, to be honest. I think I'm not saying they're going to win, and they want to win. Like, so they're gonna try everything to get a Rodgers, Carr, Jimmy G. Like, I'm not saying that they're gonna just go for Mike White, but I think if you need a stopgap, I think Mike White's the better option for them. Just in that situation, if they can't get those top guys, just because he knows the system, the players liked him, he is capable enough. Again, not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, not even a playoff quarterback in my opinion, but he's capable. So I don't know.
You don't think like how Andy Dalton kind of revamped his career going to the Saints, stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't obviously didn't revamp it. He's not a starter, but like he definitely was serviceable throughout the year. I mean,
but I would prefer Dalton with the Jets though.
Okay, like that's absolutely an option.
Because Dalton,
you're actually right because he's better leadership.
He is.
He could probably teach a little bit more. Jameis Winston again. He's in a tough place because he's not really. I mean, he threw for 5,000 yards, dude, and then 32 touchdowns.
To me,
you threw to the other team 30 times.
To me, he's in that Carson Wentz kind of area where he has talent.
Yeah,
but not enough where a team will take him. I know Wentz has gone from team to team to team, but Wentz is a backup now. He is, and that's what Wentz is. I think that's what Winston is too now. He's a backup, and if he doesn't want to accept it, then that's on him. I mean, no team is gonna. I don't think any team is gonna sign him to be their top guy. I mean, maybe a stopgap, but I don't see that enough. So I think he is definitely something like that. But like I said, but Derek Carr, if he does go the same, I think it's a really good fit for him. I don't know. I don't know if that makes them a playoff contender right off the bat.
I mean, their division went to the playoffs at 8 and 9.
You're right.
So I mean, you're not. It's not like you have to win 10 more games to be a playoff contender. And that team that went 8 and 9 now lost the greatest quarterback of all time, and they don't even. They have one quarterback on the roster, so I think it kind of does. To be honest with you.
I
think it kind of does. You got the Panthers in your division. Well, it's the Saints, Bucks, Panthers, and Falcons, right?
Yeah, I do agree with you.
I think if Derek Carr goes there, it does make him a playoff team. Again, how far in the playoffs? But I think that does. I think that helps greatly. Again, I think it's a great fit for him.
I agree with you on that. I didn't really think about that. I forgot how bad that division is.
It's just a bad division. So you get the bad division. You get Chris Olave and Michael Thomas if Michael Thomas is healthy.
And Olave is good. Chris Olave
he's fantastic. He is as advertised. He is as advertised.
Man, I would have loved him in the Pats. Oh, I would have loved him in the Pats.
Yep, he is as advertised. He is as good. He is as good as we were talking about. He was going to be. He was phenomenal. And you had Andy Dalton throwing you the ball all year. Imagine anyone in there with a little bit better, just a smidgen better passing ability.
But let me ask this though: the division sucks. It's not a good division. But
it's bad. Yeah.
But does Derek Carr bring them to a Super Bowl contender? Like honestly,
that's the question. That's the question. That I don't know. But he definitely makes him a playoff team now.
Okay.
Just because of how bad the division is. That Super Bowl team, I don't know if he can bring them to that level. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a good quarterback. I think when you put Derek Carr in the building, it's like an automatic 3 more wins than you got last year, or automatic 4 more wins.
Let me say this. This is a good observation here. Do you think Derek Carr could become a Kirk Cousins like that is for the Vikings for the Saints?
I think if I'm taking one of those quarterbacks, Derek Carr, or I'm taking Kirk Cousins, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm taking Carr.
Wow.
I think I'm taking Carr. He was dirty. He got done dirty this year.
Oh, he did.
I think he got done dirty. Again, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a Patriots fan the way till the day I die, I'll tattoo on my forehead if I have to. But I'm going to be honest with you. The same thing. I've told you this before, and it may be controversial. I feel like McDaniels. Now, obviously, McDaniels with Brady was a great combination. But I feel like sometimes that McDaniels kind of, not that he's like a killer of quarterbacks, but I just feel like I don't know, man. I feel like quarterbacks kind of underperform when he's around. I think
do you know what's funny?
he does the things for quarterbacks to like make them win and like not lose. And obviously, Derek Carr has thrown some horrible balls. He's thrown some really, really bad balls. But man, like even look before Josh McDaniels in the building and they were like failing. Like I think Derek Carr was the bright spot for that team for a while. And then you get, and then you get the expectation because you get, Devontae Adams and you get a new coach and everything like that. And it's failing. But I don't think it was failing just because of Derek Carr. I mean, obviously he made some bad plays, but like you can see that like going forward, they're punting on 4th and 1s. They're doing what he did when he was in New England. They're playing it safe. They're playing it conservative. They're playing it like, we don't want to lose this game. So like, let's just play. I just feel like Derek Carr got a bad rap. I don't think Derek Carr is a bad quarterback. I think there are so many more quarterbacks right now that it's going to play on the same team next year. And Derek Carr deserved to be one of those quarterbacks.
Now, do you feel like that? I agree with what you're saying. Like, I think Derek Carr definitely got done dirty so bad with Raiders, like not even a question. I think that he is definitely a very capable starting quarterback. I just don't know if he's that Super Bowl quarterback yet.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying that between him and Kirk Cousins, I think I would go Carr. Again, I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. And I mean, has he made the wide receivers better, or has the wide receivers made him better? I mean, how many more star receivers can he have? Like he's got Adam Thielen, Osborne.
You say that though. You look at the Raiders though; they had Adams.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Yes, absolutely correct. Renfro was hurt. Waller was hurt too. So
Waller's hurt, Renfro was hurt, Adams is on a new team, new scheme. You got a new head coach. There could have been a lot of different reasons. Again, Carr has always been a middle to top quarterback. I mean, he went to the playoffs this year. I mean, the Pro Bowl this year, obviously, because people were backing out. But again, I love when people say like, oh, the reason why he went to the playoffs is because this many quarterbacks backed out. Okay, so there's 32 teams in the NFL. That means there's 16 on each conference. So that means if 3 quarterbacks back out and there's the next 3, there should be like a longer list. So obviously if Derek Carr was that bad, he wouldn't have made the next coming list. So I don't understand that. That's the whole thing with Mac Jones too in his rookie year, but it is what it is. But
let me ask you this though. We obviously know in the NFL who the top quarterbacks are. Like we know the top tier quarterback. We know that already. Where would you put Carr? Like, would you put him in that Cousins range? Like Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, like those kind of guys?
No. I think Tannehill dropped. Dropped. Okay, so like obviously let's just do a quick tier. If A is A+ is Mahomes and Burrow. I'll say A is Josh Allen, Lamar,
Herbert.
Yeah, those 3. A-. I'll put like A. I'll put Josh Allen and Lamar. A-. I'll put Herbert.
Oh, okay.
He didn't do much in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. But you said though, neither did Lamar. So how can you?
But like, okay, so like, but I think that like Lamar in the regular season, I think he's more of a transcendent quarterback. I think if you're going into 2 teams, right? If you're going to 2 games and you are studying quarterbacks and you're a defense, I think you're more afraid of Lamar than you are of Herbert. I think again, healthy. I think Lamar with his legs. I mean, I don't think Lamar's the best thrower, but I think with his legs, you're definitely changing your defense around.
You know what? Let me ask this then. Here we go.
Good.
You got Rodgers. Again, he could retire. But right now he's still in the NFL. Where is he?
I think he's A. I think I'll put him with Allen. I'll put him with Lamar.
Okay. What about Stafford?
I'll say that's the start of B+.
Gino? See, that one's
tough. It's because it's only 1 year of success.
Yeah,
you can't. I can't put him as a B+. I mean, he had an A year.
Yeah,
he had an A- year, but I'll say he's a B. But hey, he could prove me wrong. I want to be proved wrong. I think Geno Smith had a great year this year. I'm proud of him.
Okay.
I drafted him in one of my fantasy leagues, and I tried dishing him off early, and there was like, no one wants Geno Smith, and thank God I had Geno Smith.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Thank you, Gino.
Mean, but what about the funny thing is that Wilson we've talked about Wilson before. We got into Russell Wilson.
C plus.
Yeah.
C plus.
Yeah.
C
Okay.
plus. Career wise,
again,
career wise, he is an A quarterback. Career wise.
but I'm talking about right now. This one right now.
C plus. C plus.
Yeah.
C plus.
But what about?
I don't care who is. I don't care who is. I don't care who his coaching was. I don't care. You just saw.
Again.
You just saw like, dude. That week one, was it week one when they played the Seahawks?
Yeah. Yep.
Week one, it was 55 seconds left in the fourth and in the game. It was 4th and 5 or 4th and 10, and they're chewing the clock. They could no timeouts, and everyone was confused. And Russell Wilson himself, no one called timeouts, and you just saw Russell Wilson just seemed like he was in a new element. He had no idea what he was doing, and he just had a really bad year this year. I'm going to say C plus.
I just want to go over one more quarterback because I'm not going to go into everyone, but what about Daniel Jones now?
I think he's a B. I think he's a B, and I think that I think you move with the B. I think you go with him. I think
Giants resign him. I think the Giants resign him.
Yeah, because it's clear that coaching was an issue. It's clear that coaching was an issue.
Oh yeah,
because you put in Brian Dable and oh my God. He looked good. He looked good on all sides of the ball. He looked running, throwing. He was making better decisions. Like,
and again,
you put like someone in that locker room that wants to motivate these guys in there. They seemed motivated this year. year. Daniel Jones seemed like he was loving the game. He was playing great. I think he's a B plus, but you go with him.
And again, the Giants team wasn't loaded. They had no receivers. Their line was still subpar. I mean,
they had receivers, but they didn't even play with them.
Yeah,
they had Galladay. They had Slayton. They barely used Slayton. They didn't use Galladay. They were playing with Richie Sims or Richie James. Like what?
Yeah.
And they made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they were still like.
I think Daniel Jones is a talented quarterback. He's a good runner. He can run. He's bigger. He's a lot more physical than I thought for Daniel Jones. Yeah. Like he has legs. He can take off. He's got a pretty good arm. He has a strong arm. Yeah. I think this year definitely his interceptions went down. His fumbles that he had so much issues with fumbles. Yeah. That's definitely went down a lot. So if I was the Giants, I would be resigning him and just getting him a better receiving core around him, a better team around him. And I think if you get better receivers,
re-sign Saquon. Yep. Re-sign Saquon, get him a wide receiver or two. Like maybe sign one, draft one.
Yeah, a little more defense. I think like some corners they need, but linebackers. But I
like their coach. I like Brian. I like that. Again, he won Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year.
He deserved it. Deserved it. Yeah, deserved it.
Coach of the Year award. So I mean, that right there, I think is definitely. I think he is. I think Daniel Jones is right there. So, like I said, Derek Carr. I think if he goes to the Saints, cool. I think it's a good place, depending what they get for him. But I think more than not, they're going to release him. I think because he put a February 14th deadline, and what is it today? It is the 11th. So they have 3 days to either trade him or release him. Because if they don't release him by then, that cap hits them.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going to happen. Again, it's 3 days away. Anything can happen, obviously. But I think right now the Saints are the front runner for him. Obviously a mystery team could come out, but if I'm Carr, why not go to the Saints? Like I said, we discussed that. I think they are good.
Bad division. 2 great wide receiver pieces, good tight end, good running back.
Defense
coaching,
defense is good.
Defense is good. Decent coaching. It's a win-win. I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. So, the last thing that I want to go into today is some mock drafts. I want to just get into the mock draft for the Patriots. I want to just do that because there's a couple I want to get into that some people posted up, and just want everyone to know too that closer to the draft, me and Garrett will be doing a live mock draft. Okay, so we will post on Twitter and TikTok and everything to let you guys know when that will be happening. That will be more close to the draft, like around March, and then maybe late March. So kind of keep an eye out for that. But we will be doing that. So, but today we're just going to go through some media people who have their own mock drafts. Just kind of give our opinion of what we think is best that we that we think they're doing. So this first mock draft, I think we're both going to be on this. This first round draft that we see is the first round pick is Peter Skoransky, Northwestern tackle, right there.
Yeah. Big
offensive tackle, left tackle too.
Yeah.
He is 6'4", 316. My only critique on him is he does have short arms. He doesn't have a long length. But
I mean, I think you saw Dante Scarnecchia say that that's a very underrated. It's a bull crap stat. It's a bull crap thing to gauge. Even Scarnecchia said
you almost swear there, and almost close.
I almost. I've got no dollar bills thrown to that jar. I'm broke. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, but
I'm just saying. I heard that. I just want to make sure.
Did I?
No. We're good. We're
okay.
Good.
I just want to make sure, dude. I don't want to be saying shit on the podcast.
Up in the jar. Let's go.
Oh, that's the jar.
There it is. Where's that dollar bill? Come on.
Yeah. I gotta beg my fiance for it.
We got Garrett.
I think it's
man. So
what?
We got Garrett the broke man over here.
Yeah. I gotta call my fiance. She's not gonna be happy. I used our last dollar last week. But no, I think I think it's a thing that it's the same thing when you talk about everyone came out about Tyquan Thornton's wrists. Really small wrists. Like
I don't know how that really.
You know what small wrist means? Smaller watches. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it has to do with the NFL. It's not like you were stripped at all. Like he dropped the ball sometimes, but I don't think that has anything to do with his wrists. I think I think there was a lot of problems going on with the wide receiver core, but I mean, he didn't get stripped, so it's not like they were smacking those tiny wrists and the ball was coming out. So I think the short arms thing is a thing that we can.
I think it's a little blown out of proportion. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah. I think it's a thing that we can judge from the sidelines, but people who are like in the building, they're not like, oh, we don't give a crap about his arms.
Yeah, and I think another thing too that, in my opinion, is that with Skoransky, if you're looking for the safe pick, and again, everyone's like, "Oh, tackle, well, that's not sexy, that's not cool. Why are we getting a tackle?" He is the most technically sound tackle you can get in the draft. Like he is so technically sound.
You know what? You know what is sexy? Mac Jones running 50 yards behind the line of scrimmage because he's got no time to throw the ball.
Exactly, 100%,
100%. Because Trent Brown's laying down in the middle of the play, letting people just like he's a doormat. It's literally like he opens like the door, like it's like people are like showing up for a party. He like opens the door and he's like the doormat. And then walk over him. They just walk over him and go right to Mac Jones.
Like here, I'm gonna wipe my shoes off right here on this back. On this and so that's what I mean.
Dude, just get a left tackle, get a safe pick, get a left tackle.
Yeah.
Move Trent Brown back to right tackle. We'll see if that makes him happy. We'll see if that makes him ready. And who knows, maybe even just coaching helps out a little bit. But I think we need to get a left tackle in there. Can I bring up a name real quick? And it's not has nothing to do with the draft.
Okay.
Did you see the report that Taylor Lewan said that he might be getting released?
I saw you post about that. I did. I saw you.
What do you think about it?
How old is he though? How old is
he's up there. I think he's in his mid-30s.
He is.
I think he's in his early to mid-30s.
Yeah.
He might not even be.
Let's see.
And he's a left tackle.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. No, I know he is. I mean, oh no, he's only 31.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. 31, and he's a left tackle. I mean, it's a shot in the dark because he said that he doesn't even know if he's going to play. He said he might retire.
Yeah, I mean, but he hasn't had a lot of injuries too in his career. So, but I agree with you. I mean, he's definitely a veteran for like a year, for like even just a year. Well, while you
get somebody in there,
you draft a rookie, and
then you draft a later round rookie that can learn. That can learn the techniques. Because Taylor Lewan's, what is he, a 5-time Pro Bowler?
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. So you can, get someone in there young and learn behind him.
And I agree with that. And like I said, I just want a good left tackle. That's it. Yeah. I just need a guy where Mac won't run out of the pocket early or throw the ball early because he's afraid to get hit behind him. Like again, he will get. I'm not saying you get a tackle when he's never going to get sacked again. I'm not saying that. I want to be able to see a line that is just Mac feels safe behind them. Like he knows.
I want everyone here that's watching. If you have time, do a little bit of research. I want you to watch the Browns game when Bailey Zappi played in the offense that we were running there when Zappy had Isaiah Wynn, he had Marcus Cannon, he had Trent Brown, he had not Kajust, Nwenu, he had Strange, he had Andrews. Look at the offensive line then. There were some plays where the one where he throws to Hunter Henry, he scores with Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
It was a wide open play. Like if you look out there, that he had 6 offensive linemen out there, and he had all day to throw the ball. Like, and again, Bailey Zappi, everyone can say like, oh, like it looks, Bailey Zappi could run the offense. There was 2 different things going on there, and if you can get an offensive line where Mac Jones has not, instead of 1.8 seconds to throw, but he gets 3 seconds to throw, which is even if he gets that, it's going to be night and day. A lot of his balls come out a little weird when he's pressured. They come out a little bit high sometimes.
They do.
It happens. But again, it's just because he knows that he needs to get that ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
He needs to get the ball out of his hands and quick, and it's just an uneasiness with the coaching, and uneasiness with the line, and uneasiness with his injury. And
I'm not going to lie to you, and that goes perfectly into round 2 of this mock draft right here.
What is it?
Josh Downs, slot receiver, jitterbug.
There we go.
Move quick.
Yes.
Underneath guy.
Yep.
That's what Mac needs. And again,
there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of debate on what he needs and what this team needs. And everyone half will say he needs a number 1 receiver. I think I'm on the bus where I think he needs a true slot. I think he needs an Edelman.
What about Myers, though?
I don't think Myers is a true slot. I think Myers can play all around. I think Myers is Mr. Reliable. I think if that ball touches his hands, he's bringing it down. I don't think he's the fastest guy out there. I don't think he's the quickest guy out there. I don't think he's got the best routes out there or the best ability to get open out there. But again, you get that ball near him, and he's Mr. Reliable. He's going to get open. He doesn't do great after the catch. He's not amazing after the catch. He is like the most well-rounded wide receiver. But there's players out there. There's, Justin Jefferson is going to blow you away in this aspect and might lack in this one. He doesn't blow you away in any category. He's just a good wide receiver. So I don't think Myers is a true slot. I don't think you should limit Myers to a true slot.
So you're in the camp of getting a true slot
receiver. Yes. I think getting the number 1 receiver is easier said than done. I think Bourne can open up. I think Bourne can open up the field if he's used.
Yeah.
Look at all the highlights of Bourne this year. Dude, he comes in the 3rd quarter. They'll put him in the 3rd quarter. It's like 3rd and 12, and he'll make a 16-yard catch, or he'll make a 20-yard catch. Bourne opens up the field. Bourne does. Parker, hopefully he stays healthy for a year. We got Bourne out there. We got Parker. I want to resign Myers. I absolutely want to resign him. I think he'll be great. It's going to be hard. He's going to test the waters. It's going to be hard. And again, and everything has to be by the right price.
Patriots are going to set a price for him of what they're going to pay him.
Absolutely.
And if someone offers him more than that, Pats aren't going to take it. Like, it's not because the Pats don't want him.
Did they already use their 2nd round tenure on him? If I remember correctly, I think they did.
Yeah, last year they did. Yeah,
they did. So they can't use that again. I was gonna say maybe they use that on there where they say like if someone signs him, they owe him a 2nd round tenure.
Yeah.
I remember that's what I thought. So I thought they used
that last year. They can't. That's why they can't do it now.
Yeah.
So
if we lose Myers, we lose Myers. But I still think our receiving core is good. Is good enough. I think if we can open up the middle of the field, that's where our issue is. I don't think it's getting deep. I think Tyquan Thornton can get open long. I think they weren't afraid of us in the middle of the field. I think all year.
And
I think they were stopping. I think they were stopping.
Yeah.
Like I think they were playing over because they wanted us to throw it long because they weren't afraid of the middle at all. We had no wide receivers getting yards after catch. We had no receivers getting the ball and opening the middle of the field. Yeah. And I think that's what a slot receiver does. That's what Welker did. Amendola.
And that's the exact reason what Downs does. Like he is after the catch guy. You give him the ball. You let him run. He's quick. He's fast. Dude, he can run. Dude, you get him the ball.
How many 100-yard receiving games did Chris Hogan have because Edelman they were trying to shut Edelman down this whole time, so Chris Hogan blew up.
A lot.
Malcolm Mitchell, Aaron Dobson, all these guys having Kimbrel Tompkins, guys having breakout games because they were trying to stop Edelman.
And again, I think we need to accept that. I don't want to say accept it, but honestly, yeah, that Bill Belichick until he retires, Bill will never get a number one receiver. And I'm
I
not saying
think
never. I mean,
I
I think
just yeah, I just think that his play is the middle of the field.
yeah.
I think Randy Moss was too good to not go for. Like it was too good not to trade
Well,
for.
yeah,
The
yeah.
the upside was way too high. And then obviously like Antonio Brown when we went for him and
Well,
Josh Gordon, but
who was the last receiver that we actually traded like a first round pick for? Wasn't it Brandon Cooks? I think. Right? Wasn't
did we trade a first for Cooks?
Yeah, I think we did trade first for Brandon Cooks, and he
Okay.
was
So
great. He was
it was
great for
great.
us.
He got hurt in the Super Bowl. You know,
Yeah.
it was the Eagles Super Bowl, got hurt in the Super Bowl, so we couldn't use him then. I think Cooks was great. I
So
honestly do.
I think Bill does at times,
Yeah.
but he knows he's not going
I
to
don't
overpay
think
for a
so.
guy.
I don't think Cooks is what you would recommend. I don't think you call Cooks like I don't I think what if you like talk to like, you know, Patch Nation and everybody in the New England Patriots, I don't think Brandon Cooks is what they're looking for in a number one receiver. I don't think that's what they're looking for. I think they're looking for a T. Higgins or a guy that's going to be like, you know, great one-on-one ball, you know, great catching ability. They think that's what they're looking for. And that's not something that that's really something Bill drafts, but it's not something that Bill looks for
No,
in free
because
agency.
I mean, you say that. I mean, like in trades, it's hard to get that guy in trades. It
Yeah.
is. Like I know people are going to talk about T. Higgins, but I don't think T. Higgins is going to leave Cincy. I don't think they're
No,
going to trade him.
he came out with
They're
a report saying that
yeah,
he wants to stay there.
they're going to find a way to sign him. Again, we've always talked. You and me have talked on endless about how we would love T. Higgins. Of course we would. I would take nice cat. I would take T. Higgins all day. But the thing is, though, is that T. Higgins to me is just that kind of thing where he's a luxury, and you talked about him being a luxury.
Mhm.
He's not a necessity.
Exactly.
Again, 100%. If we said, oh, if a report came out and said, hey, we traded for T. Higgins, oh, we would love it. I'm not saying we wouldn't.
You really not think that Tyquan Thornton couldn't open up the top of the field if we had a slot receiver like, you know, jamming up the middle? I'm telling you, you get a slot receiver and you know, you do those Brady passes where you get 8 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards in the middle, and you just keep getting the middle. They're going to stop going with the extra safety and the extra corner, and they're going to start putting a linebacker in the middle to try to slow that down.
They're going to come up. They're going to come close to the
And then
line.
you open it right there, dude. You open it right there. Kendrick Bourne can open up this. Kendrick Bourne can play, you know, the outside and stuff like that. Parker was really good when he was healthy on the outside. You know, I think what we need is a slot, and if you get a slot and you get one in the draft and you get a guy like that, you're not spending $20 million a year on a number one receiver. What I just don't think that's where we need it. I don't think that's our need.
No,
I think you're correct. You draft a guy like that. You draft a Zay Flowers. You draft a shifty guy that's going to kill you in the middle of the field. Because when you're not,
I love that you brought Zay Flowers up because he is honestly my draft crush. Like I love this guy.
Everyone. I mean, again, he's a hometown. You know,
I just don't think we're going to get him
because
he has done so well at the Shrine Bowl that he's going to be a first round.
His stock went up. His stock went up. I mean, who knows? I mean, I just don't. Do you think he's like 14th? Like, do you think he's 14 worthy or
if you're
later first round?
Let me say this: if you're going to take a receiver at 14, the guy that I would take over Zay Flowers is Jordan Addison from USC. He is the more I don't want to say explosive, but he is the better receiver. He's more well run.
My cat is staring at you. She went up and she looked at you on the monitor and she was staring at you. You couldn't see because she's so small.
I mean, hey,
like,
who doesn't want to look all the time?
Like, you got anything to say?
Yeah,
she's good. She's she talks with her actions, not her words.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
but you know, like I said, I like Zay Flowers, but like I said, if we're going at 14, we're taking Addison over him.
In the hard part too is that like you can move back from 14, get another pick, but you just don't know where to trade back to.
That's what I mean
in the contention forum.
But Garrett, we can sit here all day and say that Bill does reach Cole Strange. I mean, I'm sorry. I know he traded back. I know that, but what I'm saying is that like if they took Zay Flowers at 14,
I think the most Bill thing that we would see is him to go from like 14 to like 17 and then draft him there and get like an extra sixth out of it or an extra fourth out of it.
And that's what I mean. Because like he's talented, Zay Flowers. Don't get me wrong, but I just like I said, if you're gonna draft a guy at 14, you're gonna take Addison over him. That's just my opinion. Flowers could be better. I don't know. Again, the draft is such a crapshoot. We don't know. It's
a weird one. It's a weird one this year.
It is because it's not an elite, like, oh my God, these top guys. It's a depth draft. You're gonna get good players, but not great players. And again, they could exceed expectations and become great players. Like we don't know. It all depends on what team they go to.
No one in this draft, I think, is just blowing the charts up.
No,
and you're like, this is must see. You know, like we had last year with Breece Hall, and it's like this is going to be the next. You know, he's going to be the next Adrian Peterson, the next this and that. Like, again, these guys have the ceiling, like they have the potential, but like there's no.
There's no like, oh my God, I want like that guy is who I need. You're gonna get to 14 and be like,
I think that kind of makes it more exciting. To be honest with you, because
you don't know.
How boring is it? You know, you and I have been watching the draft together for 5-6 years now. How boring is it when we can predict the first 5 picks?
Oh, easily. And
it's
honestly,
boring.
It is. And I'll be honest with you, this year, I can't. I mean, we can sit here and say quarterback.
We're gonna try. We can try.
We know that, but I don't know who's going 1. I don't know who's going 2.
Well, they thought quarterbacks were going to go early. They thought quarterbacks were going to go early last year. Only one went in the first round.
Yeah, pick it. Exactly. So I don't know. And like I said,
no one knew. Everyone thought. I'm telling you, Pickett, Malik Willis. They were all talking about in the first round, and even more of them. I can't even think their names because they went so late.
There weren't many. There really weren't.
Sam Howell was one of them.
Oh, he went 5th round.
Yeah, the guy on the guy in the Panthers. Didn't he go like undrafted?
Oh my God, what is his name? But yeah, him. I know he was like a 3rd round. No,
third round or something like that. Yeah, it was bad. There
are definitely better quarterbacks this year that will go top 5 easily. There are better, much better quarterbacks. But I don't know who's gonna go first. Like people say, Bryce Young. I don't know. I mean, he's small. People, I don't know. What the Bears? Like we don't even know what the Bears are gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm them, I'm trading out of there and getting picks. I mean, I'm sorry.
Easily.
There's no reason to stay there for them. It really is.
You were the butt of the Mitch Trubisky joke. You got to try to redeem yourself there.
Exactly. So
you got to try to redeem yourself.
You have Fields, and again, I don't know what Fields is, but you just need a better team around Fields. Fields is, So, like I said, the next pick that this draft has is Julius Brents from Kansas State. He is a guy I think you'll like a lot. He's a 6'3", 202-pound corner size. Yeah, size. He blew up at the Shrine Bowl. Like this guy was like, everyone's like, he was like rated as like a 5th round pick coming into the Shrine Bowl, and now he's like a 2nd, 3rd round pick now. This guy blew up because he has the size. He has the physicality. He has the speed. He has the movement. So I think he's definitely someone that I think would do really well with the Patriots. Like I said, we draft corners well. Like we know how to get corners. Yeah. Again, Jawan Williams. Well, that's we're not going to go there. We don't have to go there. But
we had expectations. We didn't live up to him. It happens.
But yeah, I think Brent's the guy that I definitely can look into. And another guy, again, I'm calling it right now, Garrett. They're going to draft so many players on the Shrine Bowl. Just wait and see.
I believe it. The reports coming out are everyone is going cuckoo for these Shrine Bowl players, which is good. It's good.
Yeah. And this is another guy coming up in the 4th round, Trey Dean from the Shrine Bowl. He's a safety from Florida. He's also a 6'3", 207-pound, but he's more of a safety, free safety. He can play all different roles. Him and Duggar would be a nice pairing with Phillips when Phillips kind of gets older and kind of moves on. I think Trey Dean is definitely someone that I'm like, let's go, let's get him. He is an athletic freak. Like this guy's a freak athlete. He will blow up the combine, but it's fundamentals. He just needs to work on technique. And that's every young guy almost, but Bill and them can teach that up. So I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
And then the last few rounds, like I said, I'll just do this quickly, and then you can kind of give your opinion after I do this quick. Round 4, they think a guy, Tyler Steen, an old tackle from Alabama boy, love him out. But he's raw, but he's a good developmental tackle, which we might need down the road, obviously. So I'm fine with that. And then my favorite name in this draft, round 4, tight end, Cameron Latu, Alabama boy. Tight end.
Going with the Bama. Going with Bama.
I just think we need a tight end.
Yeah.
I know we have Hunter Henry.
A young. I think that Bill O'Brien is going to open up the tight end room. But like, I think we definitely need
Alabama. He knows these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's going to open up the tight end room. But yeah, getting youth in there is great, especially, maybe when he's a little bit better of a blocker,
Yeah, that's all it is. I think they just needed a developmental guy, not a guy who is going to.
So professional that I'm yawning on camera.
They don't need a first round tight end.
No.
I mean, yeah, if they did, whatever, fine, but I don't see that. So, and then round 6, Jake Moody, kicker, Michigan. Nick Foles getting older. He had a kind of down year. He is Mr. Consistent usually, but they need a young guy behind him. I think Moody's one of the best prolific kickers in college football this past year. So get him in here. I think they also need a punter. I think Jay Bailey's done. I think they're going to release Bailey.
I think Polladay kind of struggled this year too.
Yeah, so I think they need a punter, but again, I think they're going to look at the kicker, and then just
gotta be a lefty. It's got to be a lefty punter.
True. And then the last pick that I'm going to talk about this quickly is Travis Dye. He's a pass catching back. You've talked about it, Garrett, plenty of times. We need a pass catching back.
Yeah.
We love Stevenson, but we need that pass catcher. So I think
I also still like Ty Montgomery, but again, injuries, you can't bank on him playing all year. But I like Ty Montgomery, but again, you can't bank on that.
Would you take him? And let's say, like, if Travis Dye is coming off an ACL injury,
yeah,
so he might not be ready to play anyway.
Redshirt him.
So would you use Montgomery then, or Pierre Strong? Well, they drafted Pierre Strong for like that role, kind of. So I mean, why not? But I think you need to get another guy in there who's more of a.
If you get a guy in the 6th round, it doesn't. That's fine, dude.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he becomes a special teamer, and he's a fantastic special. Like Bill will find a reason. I'm completely okay with that pick.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and I'm
completely okay with that pick. I think Pierre Strong can become that role. I think Pierre Strong can, and I think I like Ty Montgomery a lot. As long as he's healthy. But yeah, no, it's always good to have more people, more pieces. Absolutely.
I just feel like with the Patriots, they're always going to draft a running back in the draft, no matter what. I know they drafted 2 last year, and we were even shocked that they drafted 2. But we were watching at Applebee's last year, and we saw them draft 2.
I mean, they're different runners. But yeah, I was surprised because it was like 2 rounds away from each other.
Yeah, so I think
4th and 6th.
Exactly. So I think we'll have to look. We'll see what happens. And then again, these later picks are just depth guys, like a guard, a center. Andrews is getting older, and this center, Alex Forsythe, is from Oregon. So Adrian Clem knows him.
Yeah. Yep.
He's definitely, I think, So I think Clem. I think that's what you talk about very quick. I think Clem is going to be really good for us drafting linemen because he knows the linemen especially from the Pac-12 and the SEC and all them.
He's seen them. Yeah, exactly.
So he knows. So he can give us input there. So I think Alex Forsythe, who he coached, can be a good 6th round guy, because like I said, Andrews was undrafted, David Andrews. So, in a center, I think you need a good depth center behind Andrews because he got hurt a lot last year. We kind of were in a tough place with center James Ferentz. It was like, okay, so get a young guy in there, develop behind Andrews. So when Andrews does retire, we kind of ready to rock and roll there. And it's not just like, oh my God, who are we putting there? So I think that is definitely a good draft. I think we're going to have, obviously, when it gets closer to our mock draft, we're going to have different opinions of what we do.
Yeah.
But I think that for this one, I
respect it. It was I think that's a good mock. I don't dispute any of those picks.
I think you get depth, and that's what it is.
You got a tackle, you got a slot. You got running back late. You got some more offensive linemen. That's what we need. That's what you're hitting all the needs. Corner, size in the cornerback position.
Because you even said it to me. You even told me like last week. Our top 3 needs are tackle, corner, and probably receiver.
Yeah,
I mean, like honestly, maybe like
I think in the order of tackle, corner, receiver, in that order. But yes, those are our 3 needs. Absolutely.
Because I think. Let me say this. If they signed a tackle like Orlando Brown or something, then I think tackle would move down a little bit down the peg in the 1st round just because we got Brown. Yeah. But I think it's definitely there. So, like I said, I think that draft is a good draft for us. I think that it definitely helps us out. I think that we we get the depth that we need. I think that it definitely will help us in the long run. And again, mock drafts are mock drafts. Everything's going to change. Players are going to get hurt. Players are going to do it's the combine is going to really show a lot different. And that's why me and Garrett here are going to do it after the combine so that we can kind of get testing numbers too, see what these receivers, see what these guys
run. The 40s.
Exactly.
I need the 40s. I don't judge until I see the 40s.
We really don't, though, because the 40s tell a lot. We don't, like I said, linemen, I really don't care about a 40. Linemen, whatever, but running backs, receivers, tight ends, even like
3-cone drill.
That 3-cone drill is, yeah, exactly. So
we're at home with our own stopwatches. We're timing it ourselves.
And right.
Yeah, I don't care. Taekwon ran a 4.21. I don't care. I tested it myself. Not a 4.29. Get out of here with that bogus report.
So like I said, guys, so make sure you check that out, because like I said, it's gonna be up live and probably end of March after the combine hits. And also, don't forget to check out our mini series coming up. Okay, like Garrett said in the beginning.
Yeah, this week I think I'm gonna go really into, again, I want to go into the position groups. I'm gonna really dive into the quarterbacks. Mac Jones.
That's what I want to say too, because Garrett's gonna do a lot of like the quarterbacks. He's gonna go. Garrett's gonna go position by position with the Patriots. I'm gonna do more of the which draft prospect fits that need. Quarterback, maybe not as much, but it could be a late round.
You could still talk about the quarterbacks and just in the draft in general.
Yeah,
just go by each position. It is what it is. You're whatever you go in depth, it's going to be factual. It's going to be, I know you're going to dive into it. So again, it doesn't have to be for the Patriots. I don't think. I think you're going to, no matter which one you do, I think people are going to tune in anyway.
Well, that's what I mean. So make sure we do that, and make sure you guys should check that out. Again, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast on episode 4 here. Next week we are going to dive into some interviews with Kraft and Butler and Bill. So stay tuned for those. We're going to go in depth on those and kind of what our personal opinions are on those. And, a little bit more, I think we're going to go a little bit more into the draft next week also, because again, the draft's getting closer, and with the combine coming up, we're going to be more knowledgeable out there. So like I said, guys, stay tuned for those. We're going to have some, we're looking for some fun podcasts coming up, fun episodes coming up here. We're always looking for more intel, more knowledge. So again, guys, do not forget to comment down below and subscribe and press the like button, because we want to get your opinions, guys. Like that's very strong. Like I said, Garrett's cat over here wants to get your opinions also in your comments. So please don't be afraid to throw those in the chat. And I hope you guys, like I said, enjoyed this episode 4 of the Opinions, Facts, and Stats podcast. And we will see you next week. All right, guys. So I hope you all enjoy it and have a good one.
Have a great week, guys.